So here's another catch-22 is you got fans. What level of accountability should fans have in this industry? Because, bro, one of the worst, most toxic places in hip-hop is the comment section.
Oh, it's the worst.
Especially after somebody dies.
For sure.
If they had an op.
Ooh. It's bad. It's bad.
It's gruesome, bro. It makes me cringe to be like, this person really just passed away, and y'all are in this person's comment section just
going in,
slandering them. It almost brings tears to my eyes, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the fans definitely have some accountability. I think, unfortunately, like the consumer base is so numbed to thinking that artists are like video game characters.
Yep.
And I think a lot of that, it gets wrapped up in like the streaming culture and like you can go on YouTube and watch any documentary about some of these YouTube pages be having the most in-depth documentaries about beef and like crazy shit. So these have millions of views. So these artists are like, it's almost like they're watching their favorite TV show play out live. The way you would watch Power. A lot of people are watching these fucking documentaries, right?
Yep.
So they're invested in the storyline of, let's say, Young and Ace and Julio Fulio's beef, because there's 38 documentaries with millions of views on YouTube about it. So when somebody dies, they don't look at these motherfuckers like people. They're looking at them like people on TV. And it's crazy because our culture has produced so much insensitivity to like real life. You see it, bro. People will do anything on the streets to go viral.
Yep.
They'll literally check their integrity at the door and do crazy hoe shit for 1 million views.
Yep.
They'll get punched. Like I be seeing some of this shit and I'm like, damn, bro. Like when I was a kid, we had Jackass and we had Tom Green and all kind of, interesting stuff. But nowadays, bro, the amount of wild, disrespectful shit that goes viral is like, I think it's like the Boot Gang kid who I think has gotten saved.
Yeah, he got saved. Yeah. He gave it
he's sober. Shout out to, I think his name's John Cabana.
Yeah, John Cabana. That's my dude.
A good guy, right?
That's my dog.
But like when he was going viral, I think people were seeing how he was going viral and they're like, oh, I gotta one up that. And he was doing some crazy shit. And this is just kind of the world we live in now, where like social media and like, I'm like Aiden Ross. I'm at Dre's, right? With 50 Cent. This was Friday. And Aiden Ross walks up trying to get into VIP, but he's like streaming it, like live on the internet. So he's like living his life for his stream. And like, shout out to him. He's making money.
Right.
Whatever. He's doing well for himself. But like, how many kids are like, okay, if Aiden Ross and Kai Cenat and all these people, they're popping. And like, I love Kai, by the way. I think Kai's great. I think he's hilarious. But like, the streaming culture, and I'm not talking about streaming in front of a computer, playing music, reacting. I'm talking about like when you're walking down the street and people are on Kick streaming their life live, seeing how many times they can go viral in a day. There's like hundreds of thousands of smaller versions of that are trying to be the next that are trying to one up and do stupid shit on the internet to try to get attention.
Yep.
And like I said, dude, I do think the internet has desensitized us all to like just, this is like real life shit. People lose their life. People die. Like, and we never had that growing up. Like the most we had was like XXL.
Oh, World Star fights,
or World Star. But even before that, it was like you would hear somebody get dissed on a CD that you had to buy, and then you would read about it. Obviously, we've lost people, Tupac, Biggie, etc. But it was never like this documented. For every time something happens, there's 100 reaction videos. And this internet, YouTube reaction, like crime documentary culture that we live in, fans they don't give a fuck about the music, and they don't even fuck about the artist. They give a fuck about the drama, the storyline that they're engaged in. They know more about the storyline of somebody's beef than they do about the album that dropped. For a lot of these artists, like obviously there's artists people are engaged with, like Young Boy, guys like that, but like I just feel like the culture of like content has really like dehumanized not just rappers, but just the fucking world.
So here's my theory. My solution is we need to take what we know as hip hop culture, and at this stage, we need to throw it away. Just like I'm from New Orleans, and when we had Hurricane Katrina come through, what we knew New Orleans to be we had to throw that away because it got swept away, right? And once it got swept away, it didn't take away the identity of New Orleans, but what we knew New Orleans to be got swept away.
Right.
We need to do that same thing with hip-hop, because what we knew hip-hop and hip-hop culture to be is something that has gotten commandeered and kidnapped and diluted and perverted into something that it's like, wait, it was never intended to be this toxic and be this negative, so we need to just sweep it all away, throw it all away, and still have the identity of what hip-hop is. And just like we had to do in New Orleans after Katrina, we had to rebuild. We need to rebuild hip-hop and keep the positive aspects, keep the stuff that feels like it's progressive and saying, yeah, we want that to be a part of the culture. But all the stuff that's clearly overtly toxic and negative, we need to throw it away and keep it out, man. Because at this point, we want to make this inclusive room for everything and say, yeah, that's hip-hop, and that's hip-hop too. And that's hip-hop. And I guess when somebody get murdered and making murder music, I guess that's part of hip-hop. But then when somebody doing some positive, we gonna be all right, that's hip-hop. But then this is like, we don't have any standards. So that's my vote, is as long as people are truly wanting to preserve their idea of what hip-hop culture is, we're going to be doomed, because we didn't do a good enough job being gatekeepers of the culture to allow it to still exist in its purest form. Things can grow, but when you see things growing in the wrong direction, that's when you're supposed to say and do something. The problem is, it's been 30 some odd years at this point that it's been growing in a direction that I think everyone is like, wait, more rappers getting murdered every year. Wait, this type of music is on the rise.
Or overdosing.
Or overdosing. There you go. Overdose culture and all of this. Now we are seeing people we knew as moguls get indicted on charges that go back 20 and 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Man, we seeing this stuff. We seeing... It's too normal for rappers to be doing jail time and getting killed. This doesn't happen in other genres of music at the rate that is happening in hip hop.
For sure. I do think, though, the overdosing aspect, I do think that is a overall issue
in music or in the world.
In the world.
Yeah, okay, I would agree.
Because the fentanyl shit has hit the world like... It's crazy. You know, I know personal people in my life that have overdosed and died that aren't rappers, that just have jobs, you know? So I think that, but again, there's obviously music that pushes drug use and all that. But I got to ask you this, like, so there is an aspect of like, okay, if you think of like Sexy Red, right? Like I genuinely enjoy Sexy Red's music. Like I'm a club DJ. So like I see like how much people enjoy her shit. They dance to it. I mean, women love her music. Where is there like for you in the world that you're proposing, is there a space for like just fun music that is not necessarily content heavy?
Yes, indeed, bro, you don't think it's possible to make fun music that doesn't have to be super ratchet and super raunchy?
But I think that the ratchetness of some of this music is like I was just talking to Hurricane Chris, right? And he's from Shreveport. And he was saying like he's got a problem with 50. He said because early on before 50 brought his studio there, he said when he brought it, he's going to get rid of the ratchetness. Like ratchet, and they call Shreveport Ratchet City. It's a part of the culture of Shreveport. Like that music is a part of the culture of Shreveport. Even in New Orleans, the bounce music, like Back That Ass Up is a fucking... Quite possibly, I don't know, that might be a top 3 greatest hip hop song of all time if you think about just like that song will never not get played in the club forever for the rest of eternity. If there's clubs. Juvenile, but Back That Ass Up from your hometown, that's a song about shaking ass, throwing ass, but it's an important song. Would you agree or disagree?
What has made it important though is that whenever you offer something to people, there's always going to be an appetite and a desire for people to have a soundtrack to justify what it is that they're already doing or what they want to do. So when you think about it, music is not supposed to be on the back end, you know, no pun intended, but on the back end of what's going on. Musicians are supposed to be the cultural savants and the leaders to say, where do we want to take our people? You feel me? And that's the problem is musicians have fallen into, well, what do the people want? Whatever the people want, that's what I'm going to give them. That's the problem. I think that as a leader, it's about giving people what they need, and giving them what they need is going to change what it is that they have a taste and a desire for.